Welcome to Heart of the Guardians, where every story reminds us that love, hope, and faith still live in the hearts of people who never give up on life. If you believe that real love comes when we least expect it, then stay with us till the end, because today's story will touch your soul. This is the story of a woman who was rejected, humiliated, and left heartbroken, until one man came into her life and showed her what true love really means. Her name was Clara. At 43, she had lived most of her adult life taking care of others. Her parents had passed away early, leaving her to raise her younger siblings. She never married, not because she didn't believe in love, but because life never gave her the time or the chance. When her siblings grew up and moved away, Clara found herself completely alone. The little farmhouse that once echoed with laughter now felt like a tomb of silence. She tried to find comfort in books, in gardening, even in her church gatherings, but loneliness was a shadow that never left her side. One evening, a friend introduced her to the concept of mail-order brides, a way for women from around the world to connect with men seeking marriage, companionship, and a shared life. At first, Clara laughed it off. "Who would want a middle-aged woman like me?" she said softly. But her friend insisted, "Clara, you have a kind heart. That's worth more than youth or beauty." So she tried. She filled out the form, carefully choosing her words, writing about her love for nature, her dream of a peaceful home, her hope to care for someone with loyalty and warmth. She uploaded her picture, a simple photo of her in her garden, sunlight on her hair, smile shy but genuine. Weeks later, messages began to arrive. Most men were polite but distant. Some ignored her completely. And then, one man caught her attention, James, a ranch owner from Montana. His words were simple, direct, but kind. "You look like someone who still believes in love," he wrote. For weeks they exchanged letters. He told her about his ranch, his horses, the loneliness of the wide open fields. She told him about her garden, her small town, her longing to belong somewhere again. Slowly, they built something gentle, something that felt like the beginning of a dream. James invited her to visit him in Montana. Clara hesitated, her savings were small, her heart uncertain, but she decided to take the leap. She sold her old car, packed 2 suitcases, and flew across the country, her heart beating faster than it had in years. When she arrived, she recognized him immediately. He was tall, rugged, wearing a cowboy hat and an uncertain smile. He held out his hand, and for the first time in a long while, Clara felt hope. The first few days were magical. They rode horses together, watched sunsets, cooked simple meals, and talked for hours. James told her stories about his life, the struggles of running a ranch alone, the emptiness of his days. Clara listened with empathy, her eyes warm with understanding. But then, something changed. A few of James's friends came to visit one afternoon. They joked, laughed, and one of them said loudly, "So, this is your mail-order bride, huh? You didn't say she was older." The laughter that followed felt like knives in Clara's heart. James didn't defend her. He just looked away. That evening, Clara noticed he was quieter, distant. The next morning, he told her, "Clara, I think I made a mistake. You're a good woman, but maybe we're not right for each other. I was hoping for someone younger, someone I could build a future with." The words hit her like thunder. She nodded, trying to hold back tears, but inside she was breaking. She packed her bags in silence, thanked him for his kindness, and left the ranch with trembling hands. She found a small motel in town. Alone in that cold room, she cried. For hours, not because she was angry, but because she had finally dared to hope, and it had been taken away. She felt foolish, unworthy, invisible. The next morning, Clara sat by the diner window, drinking coffee she couldn't taste. That's when she heard a gentle voice say, "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" She looked up. A man in his 50s, wearing a flannel shirt and a gentle smile, stood there. His name was Daniel. He sat across from her, ordered a cup of coffee, and said, "You don't look like you're from around here." She shook her head, managing a small smile. "I'm not, just passing through." Daniel didn't ask questions. He just talked about the town, the weather, the wildflowers that grew near the river. His voice was calm, kind, the kind of voice that made silence feel safe. Over the next few days, Clara saw him often. He owned a small workshop nearby where he built wooden furniture. Sometimes, he would wave at her as she walked by. One afternoon, he invited her to see his work. His shop smelled of pine and sawdust. On one wall, there were small carvings, birds, hearts, flowers, all shaped with care. "I make them for the people I care about," he said softly. "Each piece has a story." Clara touched one of the carvings, a heart with wings, and said, "It's beautiful." He smiled. "So are you." That moment changed something inside her. Daniel never asked about her past, never judged her age, never made her feel like she had to earn love. He simply saw her, as she was. One evening, he brought her to the edge of the river. The sky burned with orange and gold, and the air was full of the sound of crickets. He said, "You know, people spend their whole lives chasing youth. But I think the most beautiful people are the ones who've lived enough to understand kindness." Tears welled up in Clara's eyes. No one had ever said that to her. Weeks turned into months. Daniel showed her how to sand wood, how to build a chair from scratch, how to plant wildflowers by the riverbank. And in return, Clara cooked for him, brought warmth back into his quiet home, and filled his life with laughter he didn't know he missed. One winter night, as snow fell softly outside, Daniel took her hands in his and said, "Clara, you don't have to keep running. You've already found where you belong." She smiled through her tears, and whispered, "I think I have." They married in the spring, under the same willow tree by the river. It was a small ceremony, just a few friends, simple flowers, and the sound of the wind. But to Clara, it was perfect. Years later, as she watched Daniel carve another heart, she realized something profound. Sometimes rejection is not the end, it's the redirection to something far more beautiful. James had seen her age, but Daniel saw her soul. Clara often said to others, "Don't let one person's blindness make you doubt your worth. You are never too old, too late, or too broken for love. The right person won't just choose you, they'll recognize you. And maybe that's the truth of love. It doesn't arrive wrapped in perfection. It arrives quietly, in moments of kindness, in eyes that see your scars and still call you beautiful." This story isn't about what Clara lost. It's about what she found: peace, purpose, and the kind of love that stays. Soft music swells as the screen fades to sunset colors. Thank you for watching Heart of the Guardians. If Clara's story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to be reminded that love has no expiration date. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of faith, resilience, and true love that heals the soul.